Someone said, have I eaten? You waited there, you don't eat. They ask person whether I don't eat. Thank you, brother Shupo. Thank you for congratulating me. Thank you. Thank you for your love and your kindness. Everybody, this is a very important message that needs to be addressed, and addressed ASAP. When I say I get food where I want bring, that's why. The thing where they worry you, not being they worry me. Somebody said, love you on that show. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so very much. I'm so happy and proud to be here with you guys. I appreciate you plenty, all of you. Thank you for supporting me on the Honest Bunch. I'm just there to work with a team so that the people can see another side of Daddy Freeze. Not always cutting. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that you guys love us and we love you and we're happy to be with you. But there's something that is bothering me and I need to speak about it. I wanted to make sure my network was working fine. That's it. Yeah. So, okay, that's fine. All right, so I can extract the words and go live. I'm not live on Facebook as we speak, so I'm trying to get live on Facebook. Facebook, they give me plenty worries. Paste. All right, so Facebook too is live now. So there's so many things I want to talk about. If there's anything you know about me, guys, you know I'm not one of those people that likes to bash government. Maybe because my IQ is high, I can tell that Nigeria is a peculiar nation, and to run Nigeria, you need a peculiar kind of person. No be just anybody if you run Nigeria. Someone said I can tell for a fact that major sponsors are involved. If you believe so, all well and good. If you understand what I'm saying. So, there is quite a lot of speculation, and I've never blamed Nigerian leaders. The state of the economy had to be like this. Every single one of the political, how do I put it, manifestos, whether it's Obio, whether it's Atiku, they all said they'll remove fuel subsidy. Obi said he'll remove fuel subsidy immediately. So there's no way you remove fuel subsidy and you will not have this kind of problem. There's also no way that you devalue the dollar and not have this kind of problem. Now, you need to understand, if you have a broad mind, you may understand. But if you are shallow, you may not understand. The Nigeria is Nigeria the way it is. You are not a military leader. So there are certain things that are above our leaders' pay grade. And many of us don't understand this. There are certain things Tinubu cannot do because he is not a dictator. Yes, Tinubu also would need to think of his 2027 election, because what is a good leadership or a good leader without a succession plan? And one of the things I personally fault Peter Obi on is the lack of an Anambra succession plan. No matter how good, if I were to rate Peter Obi in Anambra while he was in office and Tinubu while he was in office, I'll probably score Peter Obi 80 and Tinubu 65 or 60. But the moment Peter Obi left, everything left with him because there was no succession plan. So if I were to score Tinubu's Lagos without Tinubu there, but with his influence there, over the years, I'll give Lagos 65, 70. I can't give Anambra 35. I'll give Anambra 80 with Peter Obi, but without Peter Obi, I can't give Anambra even 35 with what is going on now. Those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. You don't have to like them or support them. They're just my thoughts. So I understand what a succession plan is, and I understand that a party also has to deliver on their mandate for 2027. It's politics, unless we want to lie to ourselves. And yes, there's politics, and yes, there's Nigerian politics. So, like I said, nobody has power in Nigeria unless you come in through the military route. Someone says, don't justify godfatherism. The difference between me and you is me, I'm a realist. You are an idealist. In Nigeria today, one of the reasons why Anambra is the way it is, despite the amount of good work Peter Obi did, is because there's no succession plan. And you know that I'm saying the truth. Unless you want to create an argument out of argument's sake. Someone said they prefer military regime. I'm not quite sure I support you on that. I'm not quite sure. Because the military regime creates another type of darkness. Military regime is K-leg. This that we are having is bow leg. None is the... you see, I was in university during Abacha's time. Was it better than this? I will not tell you it was. I remember the fuel queues, the smelling fuel. I remember the things we had to endure during the Abacha days. You probably were a kid back there, or you're in primary school, so you didn't understand it. Some of your parents' age mates, or maybe the difference between me and your parents is maybe 10 years. So what I can see, you will not be able to see it. So I am not very quick to fault government. And a lot of people see me as very balanced, except, of course, Peter Obi supporters who believe that I don't like Peter Obi. I don't know where they got that notion from. Most people see me as a very balanced person when it comes to Nigerian politics. I try as much as possible not to impossible, but as much as I humanly can, I try not to pick sides, and I try to stay true to my beliefs, what I can see. And if there's anything, I came to Lagos in 2021, which is about 24 years ago. And between when I came to Lagos and now, I would be a liar if I've not seen tremendous improvement. Abroad, the improvement I saw in Lagos would not have taken more than 8 years. But you see, abroad, you're also not dealing with the kind of people we have as our population. So you also have to keep it in mind that you are dealing with Nigerians. You are dealing with Nigerians. I came to Lagos in 2001. Sorry, not 2021, in 2001. So that's 24 years ago. Yes, the growth in Lagos in a developed nation should not have taken more than 10 years. But you have to also factor the fact that you are working with Nigerians. Nigerians will try to steal at every available opportunity. You need to sit down with taste buds. Let taste buds tell you about running a business with Nigerians. Taste buds will tell you about by the time you are done. By the time you are done, by the time you are done running a business in Nigeria, you will understand why we have the kind of leaders we have. Nigerians are impossible to rule, impossible to work with. Impossible. Every Nigerian wants to be a CEO, and I think we got that stupidity from church. Samaria is a nurse. She works with a hospital. Last time I checked, Samaria does not want to build a hospital in America. She moved from one hospital to the other. She doesn't want to build or own the hospital. Nigeria, on the other hand, is a totally different ballgame. Every nurse and every doctor in the hospital want to start their own. Most of you in America, even if you own businesses on the side. Most of you are employees. I can tell you that I have about 256 people watching me live. If 200 of them are Americans or are watching from America, out of the 200, 195 are employees. So you go into a system to build that system, to offer. Samaria is a nurse. She goes to the hospital to offer her ability and she grows. Chichi Obama goes to the hospital and offers her talent and her skill and she grows. In Nigeria, everybody, you employ, if I employ somebody today to manage my page, now how, that's why I don't have employees. Now how they go take over the page? Now how they go Colombian to their own? And I woke up one day and said, you know what? Apart from the people answering phone calls on my behalf, I have no staff for Daddy Freeze. Free Nation has our website guy and the guy that does verification for us, and maybe one or two other people. Everything you see me do. That's why sometimes I can't go live the whole day like I used to, because I have to send invoice, write letter, talk to this person, edit. Sorry, network is a bit. Someone said that Nigerians, but you have no idea. You have no idea. Apart from, we're not even talking about standards. I didn't even want to go and start talking about standards until you shout at a Nigerian, he does not know what he's supposed to do. So you will find yourself constantly shouting at Nigerians. Then you go and try to employ somebody. Is either they are diverting the money to themselves, or they are even selling you out, or they are looking for how to hack you or how to collect it from your hand. Nobody wants to come and understudy Daddy Freeze to help Daddy Freeze grow so we can grow together. They want to come and be the next Daddy Freeze. By the time I saw the first one, the second one, the third one of my friends told me that, very big blogger, she told me that I called her for a video that I once did on her YouTube. I said, how far can I? She said she has lost her YouTube account. That she hired 3 people to manage the YouTube account. That they hacked it and changed the password. And she kept asking them and they kept saying it wasn't them. You asked the 3 of them. Nobody knows how a YouTube account with like 100,000 subscribers. Do you know what hundreds of thousands subscribers is in YouTube? If you know what you are doing is like $5K a month, dollars. You have 100,000 YouTube. You are talking about $3K to $5K dollars every month if you know what you are doing with it. And somebody just hacked it and she just lost everything. Nobody wants to help you grow. So as a political leader, you are stuck with people that are almost impossible to govern. And I understand it. In as much as I stand for the masses, I find it impossible to stand for them most of the time, because sometimes the solution to the masses' problem is just thinking, and they refuse to think. How can you be earning 100,000 and you are begging Daddy Freeze for money, but then inside the 100,000 you are carrying 10,000 to give pastor, and then you expect me to have pity on you? I beg you in the name of God, make it make sense. You are earning 100,000 naira a month. You can barely eat. And then you are begging Daddy Freeze to support you. But inside that 100,000, you can remove 10,000 and give pastor. Where do I start solving your problem from? There was a woman that came to me in Cool FM when I was still in Cool FM. I just was walking out of the gate. The woman just came and knelt down in the middle of the road. Daddy Freeze, please help me. Oh, Daddy Freeze, they're about to chase me out of the house. Daddy Freeze, she was holding, as in was embarrassing. So I said, okay, madam, get up, get up, get up. What is your problem? She said, she needs 200,000 for her rent, that there's nobody. So I just went live then and there. Early Free Nation days. I just went live. I'm like, I'm with this woman here. She's not eating. She doesn't have her rent. I need 200,000 for her rent. And then and there, 3 people said, okay, you know what, we'll sort the rent. So they sent. So I told the woman, they sent me the money within 24 hours. So I told the woman that once I get the money, I would call her. So that day I was driving to the office with my friend. When I called the woman, she said, that she start coming. I said, where was she? She said she was in Lagos, around that passport, around that Freedom Way. I said, oh, my house is not far from Freedom Way. I can pass through Freedom Way, so you don't have to spend transport coming to my office and then collecting the money and spend transport back. So I parked on the road, told my guy to put on his trafficators, his hazard lights. That's the double trafficator or double pointer that we call it here. And then I told her to come and meet me around the gate of Freedom Way. If you know Freedom Way, the entrance towards the Lekki Ekpe Expressway, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. And the woman came. Now, when this woman came, I was recording her. I was like, so my dear sister, here's the 200,000 naira. That time we had not yet started doing cashless Lagos fully, so we could carry cash. So I carried 200,000 naira. So I brought out the first 100,000 to give her. Then the second 100,000 was in 50,000 bundles. So I gave her the first 100,000. I gave her the second 50,000. I was asking her the question, what are you going to do with this money? She said, thank you. As I collect this money, I will first go and pay my tithe. You told me your rent was 200,000. So inside the 200,000 that you don't have, that I raised from among people that don't pay tithe, you want to go and pay tithe. So then and there, I just counted 20,000. I said, this is your tithe, Abi. I just called all the beggars there. I said, hey, all of you go and share this one. I entered inside my car and drove off. How do you save somebody like that? You have no house rent. Somebody came through and bailed you out. And the first thing you want to do is the most stupid move you can do. That's your pastor that you are going to his church. Why didn't he give you the 200,000? And you see, when your brain is twisted, you will see that is that prayer and that tithe you've been paying that made Daddy Freeze give you the money. You will find a way of rationalizing your stupidity. And when I see things like these, I understand. That's why you will never see me come here and join and start shouting about government. I'm not saying our government is good, though. Our government is not good. But our government is not as bad as the people make the government out to be, because half the time the people don't understand the constraints of running a government. And because you have one or two people who are on social media who are smarter than you are, they can create narratives that you that don't understand politics will not understand. Like you sitting down there and believing that Nigeria has money. Money from where? How? Nigeria has... Do you realize that countries like Qatar and UAE... Google UAE population. UAE population is 10.48 million as of 2023. Google Lagos population. Lagos population is 15.9 million. You'll be talking of Qatar and Kuwait. Do you know how many people are in Qatar? Let's Google Qatar population. Lagos. Qatar population. Qatar population is 2.6 million. So if you add Dubai, 10 point something, plus Qatar, it still never reached Nigeria. Add Kuwait. Add Kuwait to this. Kuwait population, not by religion, just population, 4.8 million. So, Nigeria, Lagos, not Nigeria, Lagos and Ogun State. If Lagos is 15 million, Ogun State. Ogun State population is 7 million. So Lagos and Ogun State, two states in Nigeria, have less population than UAE, which is Iran, I say Iran, Dubai, what are the other states? I'm tired. Somebody help me out. What are the states in the UAE? Somebody said Lagos population about 25 million. So that means Lagos alone, if I'm working with Lagos population at 25 million, that means Lagos is more than Dubai, Kuwait. That's the whole UAE, not just Dubai. UAE, which includes Dubai, Kuwait, and Qatar. And each of these countries has more oil than Nigeria. So where do you get the Nigeria is rich? Sharjah, thank you very much. So if you say Nigeria is rich, Dabi, God bless you. So if you say Nigeria is rich, but only Lagos has a larger population than UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait combined. But each of UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait have more oil than Nigeria. Does it begin to make sense to you? It's not just the oil, it's the oil against the population. When you have the UAE's oil, and then you have only 10 million people, like half of Lagos, how many states in Nigeria are actually contributing their quota? You find maybe out of 35 states, maybe 8. Do you realize we are 250 million people? Between 200 and 250 million people. So the ideology that Nigeria is a rich country doesn't sound logical to me. Because if all we have that we are exporting is crude oil, and we have less crude oil than Qatar, Kuwait, or UAE, but we have more population in one state than the 3 of them combined, the arithmetic is not arithmeticing. The mathematics is not mathematicing. So when you see this, and of course, it is hard to manage a narrative when our politicians are also seen being lavish. Our politicians are also lavishing the few resources we have. We are rebuilding buildings that, in my humble opinion, do not need to be rebuilt. Do we need a jet for the president? I'm not, maybe not. I'm not too crazy about whether we need one or not. But I know that there's so many things that our politicians are doing that are unnecessary. So it is giving very bad optics to the people. Oh God, they are spending this much money renovating what does not need to be. So they are not able to relate to the common man. Forget that the common man too does not like to use his brain. So 1, the common man is not thinking. 2, you are not relating to the man that is not thinking well. So there is a gap in communication between the government and the people. And I understand this. So coming back to where I started from, I've never been an anti-government person. You will not see me come out and say, oh, the government is useless. I know what it takes to rule Nigerians. Nigerians are not an easy breed. Nigerians know they hear word. In Romania, I was in Romania the other day, and my uncle was driving us to the airport, and we're running late. And there was 50. They wrote on the road 50. And I was asking my uncle, I'm like, match this thing now. And my uncle said, no, that there is speed limit. I said, where is the speed limit? He said they wrote it on the road. So I looked ahead and I saw 50 there. And I said, but are there speed cameras? My uncle said, no. You not get last mile, you not get speed camera, and you they obey waiting the right for road. Una they try, Niger, they go right down for road. They go send out to you as email. Last mile go hang for your bonnet. Traffic light good day. Speed camera good day. And they go still break the law. So I understand that. And I wanted to draw a perspective first before I shared my thoughts. So Nigeria is not a kind of place where Nigeria is not a kind of place where an intelligent person will blame the government for everything and say, oh, this is our government, they don't have sense. Oh, this is our government, they are useless. Oh, this... No need. The government is trying its best to rule a people that are impossible to rule. and the government has its own faults. However, in this Benue issue, I believe the government has done too little. I believe that whatever efforts the government is making is too little, at least in the regard of this Benue crisis. In other things, I might not blame the government, but in this issue, why did it take so long for us to have a response? Why did it take so long for decisive action to be taken? Why do we need to see children and small pikin buy before we know what has to be done? When it comes to this Benue, I'm not quick to, I'm not an obedient. And personally, I don't believe Peter Obi can rule Nigeria. I've never believed it. As far as I was concerned from the beginning, if it's not Tinubu, it will be Atiku. Because what it takes to rule Nigeria, Obi does not have it. And I've said it over and over again. But you see, this Benue crisis, I openly say I'm disappointed in the government. And why am I saying this? Because I am not quick to jump at the government for everything. I'm not stupid. I don't share the sentiments a lot of people share. Come out and say, oh, every small thing, the government is useless. No. You've never heard me say that. So when I come and I say, oh, in this regard, the government no try, you know that I'm not one of those people that will come and call out the government, and the government will call them to one side and give them money. Then the next day they'll call the government again. Then the government say, you are back on the thing again. Oh yeah, send account. I'm not one of those people. From the very beginning, most of what this government has done, I have believed has been in the best interest of Nigeria. Maybe they could have done it better, yes, but I believe, I don't. People say all sorts of things. It's their business. And the reason why I can brag and come out now and say, in this Benue incident, the government no try, because I am not one of those people that jumps at the government. You see, when you cry wolf too much, nobody will take you seriously. When you come and cry every day, the government is bad, the government is bad, the government is bad, the government is bad. The day that the government is really bad, you just sound like a broken record. It's him again or it's her again. So for me to come out now, and say I'm disappointed in the way this government handled this Benue crisis, I'm saying it from a place of passion. I'm not a government critic. I am feeling saddened. What could be more important than these innocent people's lives? Is it our politics that we are politicking and will continue to politic? I'm not saying abandon your politics, but don't get so lost in the politicking that things happen. I follow a lot of aviation forums, and I'm close to a lot of pilots, and somebody sent me a supposed document saying some reports allegedly, I'm choosing my words very carefully, allegedly say that the ground power units, when they were giving the aircraft ground power, because the aircraft has three sources of power: ground power, so that there can be power in the aircraft while the aircraft is parked; APU, which is like a generator in the tail of the aircraft; and then power from the engines and the batteries and what else. So that when they were giving ground power, that moisture leaked into the the I'm looking for the word, like what's a brain box in a car. In fact, let me have the reports, the alleged, let me not say reports, let me not say what is bigger than my mouth. The alleged, it says, during transition from ground to airborne electrical configuration, the aircraft allegedly experienced a cascading dual engine FADEC, that's full authority digital engine control failure. Root cause: uncommanded BUS transfer failure due to arcing in the main power relay box, PRBA. Traced to water ingress during pre-flight GPU disconnection in heavy rain. GPU is ground power unit. So as the aircraft was taking off, the engines lost power. That explains the mayday, mayday, we have no thrust, we have no power, because the engines were not generating thrust and the aircraft sank. When you are privy to information, you can understand a scenario better. But there are some scenarios that don't need you under being privy to any information. Why did it take so long for us to respond in Benue? Another thing, there are some things that have never happened before. Like a 787 has never fallen out of the sky before. A 787 Dreamliner has never sank. So, and all airplanes in today's world are fly-by-wire. They are flown by electronics. There is no, because I was asking my friend who's a pilot, I'm like, is there no override button? Is there no override lever? Something that you can pull to give you thrust and get you out of that situation, and then you can go to 10,000 feet and start restarting engine or whatever it is that you want to do? And there's none. If the electronics mess up, they mess you up, finish. My sports car, the brake pedal is not connected to the servo. It is brake by wire. You press brake and electronically goes to press the servo. I am worrying about if this car gets old. Normal brake where they match the servo. This one, you go press the brake, then one electronic go come tell the servo, say, they don't press brake, oh yeah, begin brake. If water can't go enter inside, what do we do? And I'm pressing the brake, and the brake pedal is not telling the servo that press brake, or they don't, or God don't match brake, or YouTube. So this can happen in any airplane, whether it's Airbus or Boeing, as long, and Airbus even worse, because now joystick, Boeing still get yoke. Now joystick that they use fly Airbus, now like this. If you see the joystick no pass like this. Joystick be like this. Not like this. That's how they fly Airbus. That big A380, the thing where they use to fly no pass like this. At least Boeing, you get yoke. Where be like half steering, where you go hold with two hands. They do hand like this. So when something is unprecedented, you can make excuses. Since this has never happened before, we can make an excuse for Boeing. And then, whether it is that they are going to install an override button, so you can now have access, because they deployed rat. Baba, let me tell you, when you want to be afraid in a plane, you see that they deploy rat. Just know, say problem don't start. Because that means all electricals have shut down for them to deploy rat. Once they just deploy that rat like this, just know, say, you have no power. They go just use that rat, give small power to some of the systems. And no be every aeroplane self get rat. So when there's something unprecedented, it has never happened before in the history of aviation, in the history of 87. So nobody knew what to expect. The pilots did not know what to expect. If this is what really happened allegedly, nobody knew what to expect. Even me, God forbid, I fly my simulator. If all of a sudden I have all loss of power and no trust, I'm coming down. I was gisting with Jiga when this preliminary report came out, I shared it with Jiga. Jiga said even turboprop, Cessna, you are messed, you are effed up. Say you Cessna, you can't control, everything shuts down, there's no trust, you are coming down, let alone a big duplex of an aeroplane. Somebody said, what is RAT? RAT is a ram air turbine. So when it is deployed, the air rolls it to generate electricity like a dynamo. RAT is ram air turbine. So as the air is coming, it will roll the fan, and the fan will now use a dynamo system to generate electricity for the aircraft to power a few of the systems. It will not be able to power everything. So once they deploy that rat, just know, say, wala wa. And I saw pictures of the aircraft, you could see the rat. It's like this, then fan is at the tip. If you zoom in the aircraft, you see rat. Once I just saw rat, I knew that these people had no power. Now, why am I bringing out this example? It has never happened before. We don't know what to expect. The pilots did not know what to do, because that last minute flare for me was a no-no. Why will you flare the aircraft? Last minute, they were trying to ride it out, then last minute there was a flare. Immediately I said, how you go flare? Because standard stall procedure, standard no thrust procedure is either you keep the nose level at 5 degrees or you dip the nose a bit to catch speed. Yes, at 600 feet, you're already low. So this pitch up, the plane is coming down. That's why you saw the plane completely sank at that instant. Unprecedented, has never happened before. But this Benue incident, is it unprecedented? We could make excuses for Boeing. We can make excuses for the pilots. We can make excuses for the airport because they face something that has never happened before. Have they thought about it? I'm sure they have. Because I worry about it. I worry about a situation where, can you guys see me on YouTube? Once YouTube starts to lose numbers, like, you just know that is that they've logged out. So I start to worry about these things. But you see, it's unprecedented, so we can make excuses. From the moment you can't preempt a first attack. You can't. Okay, so they attacked. What was our response? What was our response? We can't preempt the attack. Anybody can do anything stupid. But what was our response? Was our response on time? Was our response proportional to the attack? Can we pat ourselves on the back and say truly, yes, this was unprecedented. Yes, something happened that we did not expect. But how did we follow up? What was our follow up as a people in government? What was the response? Can we look at the government and say, Omo, well done? I remember when that man was coming from Sierra Leone with Ebola into Lagos. I remember how Fashola moved and prevented Ebola from entering Lagos and consequently Nigeria. They contained it in that hospital where it was, despite the fact that the guy was spraying his BLOOD. That response from Fashola, I didn't see it from the governor of Benue or the government of Nigeria with regards to this incident. So those are my thoughts. And like I say, and I continue to say, I'm not one of the people that jumps to blame government. But in this particular incident, I will very reasonably point a finger in the direction of our leaders for a very slow and inadequate response to the crisis. Those are my thoughts. If you have anything to say, I can bring you up for 5 more minutes and then I end. Now, if the Benue people had escort like our lovely pastor in Lagos, and if they also had access to whatever it is that they carry, pew pew, it for not be the way it be. But once again, the poor suffer the brunt of structural failure. Those are my thoughts. We've got a guest. Go ahead, sir.
How you doing, Daddy Freeze?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, Daddy Freeze, my little take on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria and around that environment. Because I believe some people will say the government or may accuse people who support the government and all that they are not doing justice and all, they are not calling the government out and all. I'm a proponent of you call the government where they need to be called, call them out, and also where the people also need to be called, we are also called out on that part and all. Like let me draw an insight from what is going on currently in America right now. We understood that the American border, the southern border was open, and people were trooping in. The way things were being, it's not like it was open, but the way things were being done was not what the Americans or what the Republican really wanted, because the Republican wanted it to be like shut down, make the process a rigid process so that the influx of people will be reduced to a drastic level. When Trump came in, those were some of the manifesto he gave and said, man, we are going to stop it. As I speak to you right now, whether good or bad, I do not like the way he's doing it. But guess what? Right now, there's peace in that border to a reasonable level, because though that was one of the problem that even what happened in some of those Republican states, some of those states, they started shipping people to other states. I live in New York. We woke up one night, they don't bring people come New York. They say, since you guys want them, all of them are come New York, let them come to New York. That it was almost becoming a state of emergency in New York. They put them for hotel, put them for schools and every other thing, which was depleting the resources in the country, of the states and the city. But when Trump came in, what did he do? He went head on with it. Now the border to a reasonable level, he don't close them. And we see some other ways. We may not like the way he's doing it. Like me, I do not like the way it does it. Like the people who are already in, you can stop the ones coming in, but the people who are in, now you now need to work with the system to be able to flush them out or settle them in. You understand? But now our own security case, this Benue case is not today. It started. It is not today. It's not something we woke up and just saw that 200 or 100. No. It's something that has been constant. And this was one of the things Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaigned on. And we came out with the meme that said, what are they going to eat? Ewa, cassava, or gari? That was where it came. He used this math to say 50 million. So automatically, those were just political rhetorics just to win the heart of the people. Because this insecurity issue is not what we should be campaigning with. Because if you remember, that was the same thing we voted Buhari for. That a lot of people said that he was a general, an army general, so he knows what it takes. He has what it takes to be able to bring about peace. But for 8 years, nothing. Baba came also. We are going to put men on ground. By now, we should see that all the military bases in those areas, now they not be Abuja. Those areas where they hot, that's where you go and build bases. Send troops in there. If you cannot do it, call machineries. Invest more. So we already know, say, loopholes, or we have moles who are within the Nigerian government, who are allegedly within the military. Maybe they give them ideas, say, did they come now, Mona come out, Mona not go this area. Then use machineries without them, then if that machinery does not work, then you know that it is the people within your cabinet, within the cabinet of those who set up that meeting, now you still go talk. So you know where your problem are coming from. Because we cannot continue to lose people constantly every day, and we make excuse for this man. It makes no sense. Automatically, then you are not doing anything. Then you are not fit to be a president, or you're not fit to be in the government. If you cannot bring this problem to an end, at least if not to an end, it should not continue to increase. We should be seeing decline. There should be a decline. People they buy every day. And guess what, Daddy Freeze? You know that when this whole issue started, a lot of us ignorantly say, it should just remain in the north. Now it's no more in the north. It's gradually spreading all over the country. Gradually spreading all over the country. So it's not time for us to play politics with it. It is time for us to hit this thing heads on. The people and the government. But our government is so concerned about 2027 election. Imagine the governor, the state governor, rather than you coming to say what is going on, you were still playing politics with it by saying, about 9 communities were hit at the same time, but thank God for the help of the federal government. You were still playing politics with it, and life they ground. You were playing politics because these are poor people, so their life mean nothing because they not hit the rich, the eyebrow areas. We're still playing politics with it, so it's a shame. Outside, I don't already know before our government can start to talk about them. If not because of the very dark man guy of a thing, a lot of people would have known it would have been swept under the carpet. A lot of people would have not known. It would have been swept under the carpet. So that's my own little take, that we should not play politics with this. Let's call them Edson. It's not more dialogue. What are you dialoguing? We should see people, we should see head being taken off. Like people who are there, call them and see. Now, one thing I've seen, in all these things, the president has not called this a terrorist attack. They've not called it. They've not named it. They are still romancing it. So it means we are playing politics in the country. This is a pure terrorist attack. These are terrorists. These are not bandits. They are not X-Men. They don't come up for X-Men right now. These are not X-Men. These are terrorists already. If you can sit and buy more than 200 a day continuously, this is a terrorist attack. So call it what it is, name it what it is, and go heads on. Then when you come to concert, you want to be having dialogue. Dialogue on what? Dialogue on what? On what precisely? So that's my own take, because it pain me to see.
Okay, we have Bongoli here.
Like
DJ Bongoli.
It's not a good thing.
DJ Bongoli, I did say I wasn't going to stay long. Thank you so much for your contribution, dear brother. I truly appreciate it. Bongoli. Bongoli. DJ Bongoli.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now. Can we see you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm driving, so I have my headphones on. I'm sorry.
All right, 3 minutes then.
Yes, sir.
It makes for very bad audio when very bad visuals when we can't see you.
I know, I'm sorry. I apologize. So firstly, I would like to share my condolences to all of the people that have passed away in this Benue and Benue Plateau North Central crisis. May God grant their families fortitude to bear the loss. Secondly, I would also talk about we as a people understanding what the root causes are before we begin to jump into conclusions and saying this is what the government needs to do or doesn't need to do. If we truly want these problems resolved, we have to understand what is really going on in the north central area of Nigeria. These issues predate all of us. These issues have been going on before they birthed our parents. But should it continue this way? No. However, these issues have metamorphosized because of how several governments have mismanaged the situation. Now we have the current government and all of that. I feel that there could have been improved responses. I feel that the PR, they could have done better PR. A lot of people are talking about this problem today because of the video that an individual did. But do you know that this thing has been going on constantly and consistently? It has been going on. And if you look at this government, for example, they made some progress. Though it's not enough in my books, but there was progress right from where we're coming from in 2023. And all of a sudden this year, this have sprung up. Now, we need to understand that there are different issues going on here. If I ask people, like, who are the people that actually did this last one in Benue? A lot of people will say, oh, it's maybe the herdsmen and all of that. It could be communal. It could be militias. It could be these guys that are doing illegal mining. It could be anything. So we all have to sit down and understand what these problems are in itself before we go head on. Yes, we need military boots on the ground. We need soldiers on the ground. We need army on the ground and everything. But let us not forget that Nigeria is a hotbed as we speak today. In the northwest, we are dealing with banditry and insurgency. In the northeast, we are dealing with Boko and ISWAP. In north central, we are dealing with these elders, farmers issues and these militias. These guys are doing ethnic cleansing, ethnic religious cleansing. Some is ethnic religious, some is because we know the Fulanis don't forgive. I will say it here. They always say they don't forgive. We have very porous borders. These guys are heavily harmed. So I see some people saying, let them harm our own, the community and all of that. Yes, they can harm them. However, what happens when this threat is gone? What would they do with those arms? So in my own view, because I'm driving, I cannot really break these things down. I would say that if we all want a change, we need to sit down and understand every issue going on and apply kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. Because if you keep on applying kinetic approaches, which everybody's talking about, it doesn't take that threat away. It doesn't take farmers' elders clashes away. It could even be the food people. Remember, The most fertile lands in Nigeria is Benue State. We have Benin Gwari in Kaduna. And remember, Benin Gwari was a hot spot before Governor Obasani came in. And also, we have Plateau, tomato juice and everything. It could be the food people. It could be illegal mining people. Arming different people. At least they caught a Chinese man recently that's flying drones for Boko. They caught Pakistani people also. Lastly, the government needs to respond. They need to really respond. But we know that it costs money to buy equipment, to pay the soldiers and all of that. It costs money. We need better responses from and the people also, because we need to talk about intercommunal clashes. In that region, we have the highest amount of ethnic groups in the Benue Plateau region. There's a lot of intercommunal clashes going on, like the Thieves and the Jukuns. I don't know if people know a man called Ghana. What they did to Ghana, Ghana was fighting against this KILLER headsmen. What did they do? He went for peace talk with Autumn, former governor. They came behind, they ambushed him, and they neutralized him. According to what my brother Emma Blaze said here today, there are a lot of informants. Remember what happened when these US people came to come and rescue one of their people from
No, Bongoli.
Bongoli.
Sorry. I don't want us to drag this for too long because I have so much to do. I just needed to come and share my thoughts on this.
No problem, sir.
My question is, you have spoken about who it could be. You have spoken about the many possibilities of what could have led to it. You have not addressed government's slow response, or should I say, initially it was almost a non-existent response. You have not addressed the issue I raised, which is the response proportional to the problem? Was the response timely? You have not addressed that. So please just address that as we end.
Yes, I talked about it. I said the government needs to do better. There need to be better deployment. They need to work with the vigilantes, the hunters in that area. The government also, the government of Benue State, they put in an anti-grazing law. That was during Autumn's time, former Governor Autumn. They need to enforce it. Even our legislature have a role to play in this. We need to start talking about this stopping anti-open grazing across the nation. Last year, when they brought it up in the Senate, there were some senators from the north that were kicking against it. They brought it to the fore. So the legislature have a role to play in it. The government of Nigeria, the army, need to respond better. They need to protect the lives of people. The Nigerian police force also, it's not proportional. It's one too many. Yes, the governor said yes, they stopped about 17, they've taken it down to 3. Okay, what did Muftwan do? Muftwan of Plateau State, if you notice, Plateau State has been a little bit peaceful for now. We were attacking Plateau State before. He can take that template and use it also. The government needs to do more. I'm saying it loud and clear.
All right.
The government needs to do more.
So, Bongoli, you know the argument me and you, we always fight on. Because every time you come to conversation like this, every time you come to the table to have such conversation, you are coming from the mindset of being a party person. Can you please drop the hat of being a party person and let's see. No, Bongoli, I allow you to speak, Bongoli. Bongoli, wait now. Bongoli, I allow you to speak.
Imablaze, this is what we will not do. You will not attack my person.
I'm not attacking your person right now. But the fact is that you come here all the time, Bongoli. Bongoli, we are talking right now. I want to take a point you made.
Ima, talk about the context of the conversation.
All right, it is the context of the conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the person right now.
Because hold on, many people don't even know what is really going on.
All right,
I have more information than many people. I'm not trying to brag or anything. So these issues are very complicated. You don't just take one approach. So don't say that you are talking like a party person. This has nothing to do with party. Did I mention party?
Yeah, Bongoli.
No, don't do that now.
One statement I want to take. One statement that I always take, because one of the things you always say is that it is expensive to take care of. You just made that statement right now. It is expensive to take care of. Do you know how much we can want to spend in renovating in renovating the judicial quarters. Do you know how much right now?
Brother, that is FCT's budget. It has nothing to do.
You understand? Okay, now wait. So you wait now. A country right now, whether you like it or not, the country is undergoing insecurity problem. Money should be taken from every angle they can take money from to solve this issue, because this is not a state issue right now. It is a national issue, if you get it. Because this thing is spreading. It's coming. It's even in the FCT. For crying out loud, it's in the FCT. The direction of the government should be on this. Okay, imagine you right now coming to tell us right now, we do not even know who carried out this attack after more than 24 hours. We don't even know who carried out this attack. Is that not a shame on the intelligence of our country?
Okay.
We don't even know who carried out this attack. We don't even know if it's herdsmen. We don't even know if it's Boko Haram.
All right, we're ending in 1 minute, please. 1 minute, and we're ending. Boko, I say Boko, Bongo Lee, I beg, please help me answer his question so we can end.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. The national security advisor needs to do better in the sense that knowing who actually did the attacks. But you need information. According to what Kayode Egbetokun said, the Inspector General of Police, we need more information from people on the ground and do their own investigation and all of that. We need to understand that even in America, for example, that you talk about, it takes time for you to determine who actually did what. Look at what happened in Ondo State, for example, where they went to neutralize people in a Catholic church. That was 2-3 years ago. Till today, that issue has not been resolved. So we understand the country that we live in. We've been bedeviled with these insecurity issues. We need to do a better job, both the government and the people. I'm not talking like a party man here. I never mentioned any political party, but these are security issues and they need to be treated carefully. Because remember, Nigeria is a very complex country. We have ethno-religious bias and sentiments going on. Remember what happened when Jonathan was doing what he was doing to the Boko people, when they brought in mercenaries from South Africa and the like. The people in that area said, why are you neutralizing our people? Was this not the same template that they used for Jonathan to kick him out in 2014, 2015? He said it could be that. It could be political instability. And also, these cows that you are seeing that are moving around, many politicians own cows. It's another conversation entirely, my brother. But I want you to know that I am with you on this. If you expect Bongoli to come out and say the government is the government that, so that you can be satisfied, Bongoli will not do that. Because Bongoli understands a little bit as per what is going on. Bongoli is very reasonable and sensible and intelligent to know that you don't just jump like that. I know that, but if Bongoli is saying government needs to do more, government lacks a little bit in what they are doing, and it's not satisfying you. This is a situation of the donkey, the man, and his son. If you understand that, what I just said now, the donkey, the man, and his son, then that it is what it is, my brother. I yield the floor. I rest my case.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Emma Blaze and Bongo Lee. At least there's something we all agree upon. The government needs to do better with regards to safeguarding lives and property, especially around that Benue region. Once again, our heartfelt sympathy and our condolence goes out to the people affected and their families by this irreparable loss. May the dearly departed rest in peace, and may their families find the strength to be able to move on as the government continues to reassure the citizenry on its resolve to keep the country safe. Thank you, everyone, and God bless.